Story begins in the fall of 1999 in a small, quiet town in the United States, nestled deep in the woods called Fairview. The town is peaceful. Hidden at its heart is Blackwood Manor, an ancient, sprawling estate that everyone avoids. The house has been abandoned for decades and is rumored to be haunted by spirits, leaving a dark cloud of mystery over its grounds. For years, no one dared step foot inside until a man named David returns to the town. David was once a resident of Fairview, but moved away when he was just a boy after his parents died in a mysterious accident at Blackwood Manor. Now, at 35 years old, David has returned to unravel the truth about his parents' death. Haunted by vague, fragmented memories of his childhood and the house, he is determined to find closure. Despite warnings from the townspeople, David feels an inexplicable pull toward the manor, as if something in that house wants him back. David stands outside the gates of Blackwood Manor, its gothic silhouette looming in the evening fog. The locals had always warned him, whispering stories of ghostly figures in the windows and eerie sounds that echoed in the night. But for David, this wasn't just any old house. It was the place where his parents died under mysterious circumstances. After all these years, he had come back, seeking answers. He pushes open the creaking iron gate and steps onto the overgrown path leading to the front door. The house feels alive, with the wind whispering through the cracks in the walls like it's breathing, waiting for him. As he steps inside, a wave of cold air rushes past him, sending a chill down his spine. Dust covers every surface, and the air is thick with the scent of decay. But what strikes David most is how familiar everything feels. He remembers the grand staircase, the faded portraits of long-forgotten relatives, and the way the wooden floor groaned beneath his feet. David starts his exploration, flashlight in hand. Each room seems untouched by time, but there's something off, as if the house is playing tricks on him. He hears faint whispers, almost like a conversation, but every time he follows the sound, it disappears. Doors creak open on their own, and the shadows seem to shift in the corners of his eye. He pushes forward, determined to find his parents' old study, a room where they were last seen. Finally, David finds the study. It's just as he remembered it, with its large oak desk and bookshelves filled with dusty tomes. There's something new. Letter, neatly placed on the desk addressed to him. Handwriting is unmistakable. It's his father's. David's hands tremble as he opens the letter. Words inside are chilling. David, if you're reading this, it means you've come back. House, it's alive. It feeds on the pain and suffering of those who enter. Mother and I tried to stop it, but it was too late. We're sorry. Leave before it takes you to. Suddenly, the temperature in the room drops, and the door slams shut behind him. David's flashlight flickers, and in the dim light, he sees them. His parents, standing at the far end of the room, their eyes hollow, their faces twisted in pain. They try to speak, but no sound comes out. Instead, David hears a voice in his mind, an ancient, malevolent voice. You belong to me now. David realizes that his parents were not killed by an accident. They were victims of the house. Blackwood Manor isn't just haunted. It's a living entity, feeding off the souls of those who enter. The house had claimed his parents, and now it wants him. Connection between David and the manor runs deep. His family has been tied to this house for generations. Cursed by the original owner of the manor, a man who practiced dark rituals to achieve immortality. David begins to piece together the truth. He finds an old journal in the study. The journal belonged to the original owner of the house, a man named Silas Blackwood. In it, Silas details how he trapped the souls of his family members, anyone who set foot in the manor, in order to extend his own life. David realizes that the only way to free his parents' spirits and his own is to confront Silas, but as he tries to leave the room, the house fights back. Walls seem to close in on him, and the whispers grow louder, more insistent. Ghostly figures appear in the hallway, in his way. The house won't let him go. Desperate, David runs to the basement where Silas Blackwood performed his rituals. The basement is damp and dark, with strange symbols carved into the stone walls. In the center of the room is an altar, and on it, a book bound in human skin. David hesitates, but he knows this is his only chance. As he opens the book, he begins to read the ancient incantation that he hopes will break the curse. But before he can finish, a figure appears behind him. It's Silas, his face twisted with rage. Silas engage in a terrifying battle of wills. Silas tries to take control of David's mind, but David fights back, reciting the incantation with all his strength. As he's about to finish the ritual, the house begins to shake, and the ground cracks open beneath him. Suddenly, everything goes silent. He wakes up outside the manor, lying on the cold ground. The house is still, its windows dark and lifeless. For a moment, he thinks it's over.
But then, he notices something strange, his reflection in a puddle. It's not his face staring back at him, but Silas's. As David stumbles away from the house, he realizes with horror that while he may have escaped physically, Silas's spirit has taken over his body. The curse is far from broken, and now David is trapped inside the very thing he tried to destroy. The story ends with David walking away from Blackwood Manor, a small, twisted smile on his face. The townspeople who see him passing by feel an unsettling chill, unaware that the man they once knew is now something else entirely. Some places should remain forgotten. Not all secrets are meant to be uncovered.